in the grand scheme of things, what she got was barely a drop in the bucket. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on. So one of my subscribers, she wanted to know if he was involved, you know, in the occult. And let me just preface, the occult just means hidden. You know, it's not a bad thing, and it's not necessarily a good thing. It just means things that are just hidden, things that are secret, things that are sacred, things that should not be made public, you know, because they require certain rights, certain levels of consciousness to digest. You know what I'm saying? So occult isn't necessarily, you know, just like bad. I'm sure he was, but let's see, I could be wrong. He did grow up a Jehovah's Witness, so let's see. This Michael Jackson Williams is involved in the occult. And if so, describe that practice, if you can. If you are enjoying this reading, thumbs up, please. Thanks. 5 of diamonds, 6 of spades, and the 2 of diamonds. Yes, but let me get a complete sentence for my butt just to verify what I'm saying, or what I was about to say. Yes, he was. Now, okay, so I'm getting two things. So, yes, he was involved in the occult, the dirty, the vile debauchery part, like the stuff that we hear about the industry. Yes, you know, he was involved, you know, in that, in that degree of the occult, and he did not want to before, but after getting involved, you know, in that degree of the occult, he was on the path of true enlightenment. So after, like, you know, he had to do whatever darkness, you know, or evil, or just like whatever, like, I guess for lack of better words, like evil, darkness, different things like that. After he went through that rank, or those ranks rather, he got on a path of true enlightenment. Like after he got like out of this low vibrational, you know, crazy industry stuff, he went on a path of true enlightenment and divinity, and was on the path to, like, you know, cleansing and renewing his soul and his spirit and different things like that. He was really on the path to ascension. I'm feeling like around the time, you know, that he was passing it, even like before, he started practicing what some people would call your right-handed paths to ascension and divinity and different things like that. He did belong to some mystery schools, I'm seeing, and of course, you know, because he belonged to those schools, I can't, you know, go into their stuff, you know, and reveal, you know, their information, because I'm pretty sure I'm not a part of the same mystery school that Michael Jackson is a part of, or was a part of rather. But yeah, so yeah, that's really it. Like nothing really like sensational, but yeah, he was a part of different, he had different mystery schools. He started out with this very low, nasty, ugly type, you know, energy, you know, that the industry has people go through. But then, you know, he started to align and awaken with the truth of different things, to cleanse and to purify his soul, to return to God. Let me see what else about this. I'm feeling like, you know, he even went back with this Joker here. He even went back, you know, like to, it's so funny because I was about to say it, and then with this Joker coming out, like that's what it's talking about. He even went back, you know, to his Jehovah's Witness theology or school of thought for a time being, but that really did not serve him, because there were some holes, you know, in that story, in that school of thought for him as well. It did not complete the whole picture of creation, the picture of why we're here, you know, the picture of why God allows people to go through certain things, like just different, like these deep questions of a divine nature that he was having. His his Jehovah Witness upbringing, that Christian upbringing, really did not serve him in that capacity, because he knew that there was more and he wanted to know more of that. He also was really big on wanting to like purify himself and make himself whole again. He was like really heavy on that tip. And that's not to offend any Christians, you know, or anybody, you know, in the comments with what it is that I said. It just, you know, it is what it is. He wanted to expand, you know, he wanted to expand his knowledge, he wanted to expand his skill set, and to purify himself, and to get these deep questions of a divine nature that he had answered. He wanted to get that stuff answered. So yes, he was. Let's see, anything else about... No, I just heard, nope, let me not pry any further, so I won't. Okay. Was his passing intentional? Elevated senses. Was his passing intentional? 5, 4, 3, 2, was his passing intentional? 1. I'm really enjoying this reading. Not on his part. It was not intentional. It was intentional with this 10 of spades, with the people that managed his career, like all of those like really big labels or those really big names, like whoever those people are, the people that were in charge of him, the icon, yes, they did plan it, but for himself, it was not planned. It was not intentional. With the 9 of clubs, this is going to sound very sensational when I say this, but with the 9 of clubs, clubs talk about chatter, business, communication. 9, endings. They wanted to shut him up. Okay, whatever it is that, you know, he was talking about at that time. They wanted to keep... I'm seeing a picture of him in a big old boot. They wanted to keep him underneath his foot, underneath their foot. Right? They wanted to keep him in line, in check. Like I literally see in my head like this big boot and then him underneath the boot being smashed. They wanted to keep him in line. They wanted to keep him in check. And, you know, and you know, with the 7 of hearts here, you know, Michael getting older and, you know, and wiser, and also on his path to enlightenment and ascension and different things like that. Dang, this Joker coming out so much in this reading. Like there's so many illusions. And I'm also with this Joker constantly coming out in this reading. Like there's a lot of things that my folks are saying that that really cannot be revealed, and a lot of the things that we see online about it is actually sensational, and some of it is just really, a lot of it is just like smoke and mirrors. What I'm hearing that they're saying, like it's not even the whole truth, you know, of the matter. You know, like there's some things that kind of like throw people off, you know, of like what really happened and different stuff like that. But one thing that the public is true about is that the big wigs killed him. Yeah, the big wigs, they definitely like already had that plan in motion. And even like this doctor, you know, let me read about this doctor. Who is this person? Am I gonna get in trouble if I read about this person? Who is this person? Who is like the person, like the doctor that killed him? Like who is he? What is his role? Like what is the truth of him? Like what is the truth of that? I don't even know what to ask in relation to like who is he? What is his purpose? Why was he there? Who sent him? Who sent him? Ooh. It's odd. So my first question was, who is this doctor? The doctor that, my first the first thing that came to me was that they share some type of relation, but not, I got it. They belong to the same secret organization, or like the same mystery school, right? I'm just gonna call it a mystery school. Like they belong to the same mystery school. And there was actually, wow, y'all, this is gonna sound so crazy. It's gonna sound so crazy, but I gotta go ahead and say it, like, because it even sounds crazy in my head. It's like he signed a contract. I know this is gonna sound so freaking crazy, what I'm about to say, but it's like he signed, the doctor, what was his name, like Conway or something like that, something with the C, signed some type of contract. Oh God, this sounds so crazy with me saying this. Signed some type of like contract in blood, like a fingerprint, like a thumbprint, like agreeing to, like, what? Agreeing to, like, y'all, like, what? Agreeing to kill my, like, what? Like, y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Like, this is fanatical and crazy than a month. Like, this is some crazy stuff. What? But it's real. It's real. Like, I'm literally seeing it. They were part of the same order. Like the same order. I don't know, because there's so many secret organizations, you know, and religious systems, in like different paths and things like that. Like, there's so many different things, but they belong to the same group, the same secret spiritual group. Like, they belong to the same group. It's crazy. And in this particular group, they worshipped a female deity in this particular group that they're a part of. So if y'all know of any of these groups, put them in the comments, down below. But yeah, it was like a sacrifice. It's crazy, but not a sacrifice for the group though, to the group. Like, it wasn't for the group, like this secret order to gain, to gain anything. Like, they weren't necessarily gaining anything from killing him. This was just more so like an order that he received from like some of the big wigs that are also a part of this group. So it actually stunned him a little bit to, like, I feel like he hesitated a little bit, when he was going in to give him, like his drugs and different things like that. Almost like, like it stunned him to give him what he did. Like, he hesitated because he felt like he was betraying his brother. So he has like some regrets about that, or had some regrets about that. But he had to, because then it would be a target on his back, like if he didn't follow through, with these orders that he got, it was gonna be him, when he didn't, he wanted to be him, or his loved ones and his family. But why? Because they wanted him to stop talking. But why they want him to stop talking? I got questions. Why did they want whoever was in charge of killing, of calling his death? Like, why did they want to kill him? And I pray that this is making sense. If it does not make sense, ask me some questions in the comments so that I can clarify to you what it is that I'm picking up on. So why did they want to kill him besides shutting him up? Oh, I'm hearing it. before even pulling the cards. So, what was I getting before I pulled the cards? Because they wouldn't be able to control him anymore, and they also wouldn't be able to make any more money off of him. I feel like Michael was getting ready to go to like some type of something that's the equivalent of like a monkhood. I don't know if he was actually going to be a monk, but it's something that is that equivalent that he was desiring to do before his passing. But he was grappling and going like back and forth with it, because he's like, oh, you know, my kids, like I gotta protect my kids. So he wasn't going to be a monk. It was going to be something of that equivalent though. If you know what that is or some of what those options are, put them in the comments down below. But yeah, but he was wanting to go and go into monkhood or something like that. And again, like regenerating, he was in whatever it is that he was getting ready to do, he was also going to be sharing that with his children. But yeah, so they were not going to be able to make, you know, any additional money and things like that off of him. They weren't going to be able to mock him anymore, because he was going to be starting to get the courage to even speak like in great detail about different things, like in great detail, not like that one or a few press conferences that he did, you know, speaking in codes, but like in great detail. He was going to be sharing information in the future to come, but he was going to get a lot of healing, you know, from just the industry, healing from his childhood as well. He was going through a very deep and restorative period. And I also feel like he was like whatever narcotics or drugs, like whatever it is that he was taking at that time, any pharmaceuticals, like it was going to be like his last time taking it before he decided to go into like this new monkhood era. Yeah. And also what I'm picking up on too is going back, you know, to his passing, the doctor, let me get it. Hold on. Michael didn't tell the doctor to kill him or give him more medicine. He did not tell him that. And I also am feeling like, I feel like Michael passed at like the hospital. Like he didn't pass in his, he wasn't gone yet, I don't think, in his house. It's something weird in that situation that I'm trying to pick up on, like that's very that's very murky. So I'm trying to like really like pinpoint it, and it seemed like, you know, it's murky for a reason, like it's been veiled. So I'm also, you know, trying to be careful, be mindful, you know, as well with the situation. But he did not tell him that, like as far as like killing him. It was some other type of deathly dose of something. Not something that he usually took. Like it wasn't something like in his regular Rolodex of things. And I feel like that this was something that was given to him after his usual round. Does that make sense? Put that in the comments if that makes sense. Yeah, it was like something that was given to him after like his usual round, and that is the thing that sent him over the edge. But it was all intentional though, and it was all planned. Yeah, it was like, it's so weird. It really was. And if it wasn't planned, I would say that it was, but it's like, no, like it was some with them, with those people that ran his career and different things like that. They did not like that that he wasn't going to be a golden boy for them anymore. It's like I'm hearing that phrase, golden boy. That's why I said it. Yeah. Let me see. That's what it is, and I'm. It's almost like unbelievable. I mean, not unbelievable, but I mean, some of it is unbelievable, but just so odd and like just so crazy, because it's like, dang, just because you can't control anybody, you know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, all your business finna spill out in the streets. But I guess if you got business like them, you know what I mean? Because look at Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Look at Diddy. So they don't want that stuff getting out, but it is so crazy. And there's more to that situation too, but it's almost like it's been veiled, so I can't pick up on what it is. I can if I go a little bit deeper, but I'm also hesitant to go deep into certain areas like this, especially because it's like, baby, listen, okay? I don't know if I'm just gonna leave it right there. I'm just gonna leave it right there. Yeah, but some of it is like almost like veiled. Let's see. Okay, what else can you reveal around his the truth around his passing, his transition? And then I'm gonna get to the last question. What other information can you reveal about his passing? Last shuffle. All right. Oh, occult. Yup. It's something to do with that stuff. Was he involved in the occult? Yup. And his passing, yes, they just confirmed everything that is that I just said. Like this was well thought out and it was well planned. But again, like, I'm not feeling like that he was a sacrifice to whatever order that it is that he belonged to. It wasn't that, like, it was literally just to get rid of him. But I also feel like they wanted to retain some of his essence. I'm not sure exactly like what that means. I'm having some ideas or it being shown to me like what that means, but they like wouldn't like to retain some of his spiritual essence to use, like, to create things with, to mold new people with, like a piece of like his consciousness or something like that. Like they wanted to retain that, which is so odd. So like, it's just, show me, like, what do you mean when you say that? Show that to me. A piece of his consciousness, like how? Oh, so like in dolls, in rings, in jewelry, in plaques, in paintings, in just like different things, kind of like a talisman or an amulet. But instead of another spirit consciousness or like a deity consciousness, like it has the consciousness of another person, and in this case, a passing person. Oh, okay. So yeah. So they wanted to retain some of his consciousness to use for future artists and different things like that. For future artists and even for their own selves. Something about unlocking wealth, unlocking the gift of gab, unlocking power, unlocking favor, because he had a lot of favor. So they want to emulate that favor and things like that that they had for their own individual gain, for whatever other robot or artists, you know. And when I say robot, I mean human robot too, like the artists and different things like that, so they can use that consciousness to propel them to give other people like that same favor. I'm seeing that, you know, different artists wearing these things with his consciousness in them. like with the part of his consciousness that they tried to preserve, or that they were able to preserve, like his blood in particular. I'm seeing like different artists like wear some of like these different things so that they can kind of harness that same power that it is that he has. I know that may sound weird, but that's literally what I'm seeing. Okay, and my spiritual eyes don't lie to me. So yeah, that's all she wrote about that part, but it's a thing. And in particular, like in their rings and their necklaces, some perfumes that's like only for them, or like some pheromones. Yeah, they were able to preserve some of his blood. Like some of it like is still locked up, like these like little vials of it. Even some of his skin and some of like his hair. Yeah, like that's what I'm seeing. So that they can share his power and influence. But, you know, power and influence, you know, it really can't be duplicated, because some stuff just in you. You know, what was in Michael, the stronghold that he had on the masses, across all languages, all cultures, you know, all races, you know, like the stronghold that he had on the masses, like that is something that really cannot be duplicated. If it's in you, it's just in you. Even, you know, even with, you know, these powerful forms of magic, 'cause I'm not gonna lie, like, you know, these are very powerful forms of magic that actually work. However, the replica is never really as good as the original. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying that as a spiritualist, like who is aware of like these different things. So, you know, they still ain't gonna be it. They might get close, but it ain't gonna be it ain't gonna be what they think or want it is. But you know what? It'll be close enough to make them money, and that's the end goal, to, you know, retain their money and to retain their power. So yeah. So let me go ahead and ask the final question, and then I'm gonna wrap it up, because I feel like this reading has lasted. I may have to chop this up into parts 3 and 4. Yeah, it's 2:26. This reading has it been like an hour almost? So let's see. Last question. So does Michael Jackson have any words of wisdom to share with the masses? 5, 4, words of wisdom. I'm not hearing it from him directly, but the energy it is, you know, that I'm getting is basically talking about not being greedy, and then also guarding your soul, protecting your spirit. It's like a message of one that is of, you know, like true spiritual enlightenment and alignment and different things like that. More so advice against, you know, greed, against, you know, egoic fame and desperation. Warnings and advice against those things. Also, I'm hearing to be aware of your enemies and different things like that. People say, and this is like what I'm hearing, people say keep your friends close and your enemies closer, but no, that's a lie. You don't want your enemies nowhere near you, because your enemies eventually can touch you and get to you. So you really don't want to keep them closer. You want to keep them neutralized or as far away from you as possible. Don't listen to that old advice is what it is that I'm hearing. And even though I'm not hearing it from him directly, it's the energy that is around him, like his essence of what it is, you know, that he was standing on during that time. And even like his mature self, like after he like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually matured, like after, like it's like that energy around him, like things that he would tell other young and up and coming artists and things like that. Like, so these are like the little bits of wisdom and advice that it is that I'm hearing and getting from around that. Let's see. Well, that Ace of Spades is just summed up. That Ace of Spades just summed up, especially the part what he just said about enemies, or what he said about, you know, telling other people like about enemies. Keep your enemies far away from you as possible. Keep them neutralized, because when you keep them too close to you, it's easy for them to attack you and also to keep tabs on you. So, you know, be aware and be mindful of that. And yeah, just don't be greedy. Don't be fame hungry. You know, there's ways, you know, for you to develop, you know, your gifts and your talents, you know, without sacrificing so much of yourself. And yeah, that's it. It's quiet now. I'm not getting anything else. And so, woo, this was a doozy. I know this reading is like at least 30 to 40 minutes. So it's definitely, y'all are probably watching part 4 right now. But thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm interested to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Yeah, just share your thoughts, you know, about this reading, and any other questions with any other people that it is that you want to see. Put those suggestions in the comment section. I also do personal readings as well, and so the information can be found in my description box. Again, thank y'all for tuning in, and make good choices. Don't be desperate. Have a good one.